With GridironNow.com, I'm Ashley Barnett with Chad Scott. The Auburn-Louisville game just wrapped up where the Auburn Tigers took the win for 31-24. Now, the preseason hype was around quarterback Jeremy Johnson. They're predicting him to be the Heisman candidate and the next Cam Newton for this Tigers team.
Ooh.
However, 3 interceptions and average 7 yards per attempt, not exactly on that Heisman list.
No, it was a disaster out there for Jeremy Johnson. 3 interceptions, easily could have been 6, and the interceptions he made, they weren't like by that much or balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. They were outrageously poor decisions at critical times in the game. Auburn very nearly goes home tonight with a loss because of Jeremy Johnson and his horrific decision making. Now, I've said all offseason that I think Auburn's going to win the SEC championship. I'm not going to back off that prediction, but Auburn will be out of the SEC West race by October if Jeremy Johnson doesn't dramatically improve his performance level.
Last year, it was Auburn's defense that actually caused them to lose some games. The defense today caused them to stay in this game. You know, how much of a difference do you think Will Muschamp has had on this defense?
Well, it's interesting, and it's a study, I think, in leadership. Will Muschamp, coming into this program with his heritage, with his background and experiences, he makes the Auburn defensive players believe they're a little better than they are. He was able to wipe the slate clean, start fresh, and instill a great deal of confidence in this Auburn football team. That Auburn defense made big plays. First play from scrimmage, interception by Trey Matthews, run deep into Louisville territory. 82-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Auburn's victory today, as surprising as it seems, particularly when you think about where this program has been under Gus Malzahn, came on the shoulders of the defense. And Gus Malzahn has to get Will Muschamp has to get a lot of credit for that, and so too does Carl Lawson, who played in the first half and was dominant, but then went out in the second half, or didn't come out in the second half due to injury.
And, you know, as sad as it is that Carl Lawson did leave the game, Montravius Adams stepped up and took the reins in the defense. It was amazing.
Absolutely. When Lawson went out, and even before Lawson went out, Montravius Adams was constantly in the backfield for Auburn from his defensive tackle position, constantly in the quarterback's face. On that 82-yard fumble return, he was the guy who disrupted the handoff. Montravius Adams has always been a player with great potential, high-level recruit, but it's been potential. It's been glimpses. It's been flashes. For Auburn to win a championship this season, Montravius Adams will need to play like he did today every single game and realize that potential. He is an all-SEC, all-American caliber player who was that way from whistle to gun tonight. Great game. Defensive MVP for Auburn this evening. No question about it, Montravius Adams.
In the past 2 years, Auburn has had the SEC's lead rusher. Before the season started, people thought that Javon Robinson and Rock Thomas would be the one competing for that starting position. However, today it was Peyton Barber who kind of stole the story.
Yeah, well, again, like Lawson, Javon Robinson and Rock Thomas, the guys who got all the publicity in the offseason, they were the people at running back everyone was talking about. Javon Robinson, the top-ranked junior college running back. Rock Thomas entering his sophomore season. They got all the publicity, all the hype. They're the ones I wrote about, and then they go out injured, and here comes Peyton Barber, and man, he didn't miss a beat. Auburn was better with Peyton Barber behind quarterback. Very decisive, a very quick first step, great cuts. He was determined, and Gus Malzahn after the game said this was his moment. This was his time to shine. The team relied on him, and coming into Atlanta for the opener against Louisville, no one expected Peyton Barber to be the MVP of the game and carry the Auburn offense.
It's going to be very interesting to see what this Auburn team does the rest of the season and when they play at LSU in 2 weeks.
Well, no question, and they've got a long way to go, all right? Fortunately for Auburn, they won this game. They beat a good opponent. Let's not pretend that Louisville isn't a fine team and came in here and just laid down, and Auburn, slopped it around and wouldn't have beaten anybody else. Auburn is a good team. Louisville is a good team, but man, Auburn has got a long way to go, and the expectations for Auburn are a lot higher than they are for Louisville, and if Auburn wants to meet those expectations in these next couple of weeks, they're going to have to get a lot better, particularly at quarterback.